Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to anybody. I don't know what's going on with my shirt right here, but now I'm going to notice that the entire time that I'm on this live. But anyway, welcome. Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday. Today is day 27. Can y'all believe it? 27 days. Okay. Okay. Hype me up. Hype me up. 27 days. Hype me up. Applying some pressure. If you guys see my post on Instagram today, that was my little affirmation song today. Um, but welcome. For those who don't know me, I am Tashina. I'm an executive leadership and team coach, and I help teams and the leaders who lead them collaborate better, heal from conflict, and get shit done without all the drama. And before we dive into our topic today, I am hosting a free masterclass next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next Wednesday. And I want you to join. And at first, it was going to be like a private, kind of like Zoom, register, get on Zoom, all that good stuff. And I was working on my outline and my slides this morning. And I said, you know what? I want to make it accessible to everybody. And some people don't have Zoom or don't use Zoom. They prefer Teams or Google. I know there's also people who are just like, I want to hop on and, make it, hop in and out. Some people want some privacy. They are like, and I am the queen of confidentiality. I believe that every coach should be confidential in their offerings and the people who come. And some people are like, I want to be confidential. I don't want people to know I'm there. Or whatever it is. Like there's a bunch of reasons, but I wanted to make it super accessible for everybody to be able to join. And so I'm hosting this as more of a public masterclass. It will be live, like I'm live here. However, you will need to register in order to join. So this link right here, this QR code, go ahead and scan it. Go ahead and scan it and just register. You will get a link. You will be able to download it to your calendar. So go ahead and just register here. You can point your phone to it. You could take a picture and just use the QR code to be able to go ahead and register for this live. Okay. So do that for me. I want to see as many people as I can there. I think that it's important. And I'm realizing that on LinkedIn, the QR code is over here. So it's not mirroring right. So my Instagram people, I'm sorry. You click on this side, okay? Click on this side. My LinkedIn people, click on this side. And I'm crossing my fingers one of these sides for YouTube. Okay? That's where I'm at. But I want you to register for my masterclass. Y'all, this is my very first masterclass I've ever done. And I would be lying to you if I didn't believe that I was scared out of my mind. I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I am being super critical of myself and all the things that I teach you as leaders and how to be confident and show up. I am working through that real time. I am creating my affirmations and I'm trying to get my mindset of a leader. And I am just really into it right now because I realize like sometimes things are hard. Sometimes things are super hard. Okay. But at the core of all of this, I am here for you. I want you to not hold yourself back. I spent many years holding myself back in my career. And I can't tell you, I'm not a regretful person by any means. I'm not a regretful person. I believe All circumstances happen to you for a reason. I believe that God has designed us to go through different things. And I also believe that everything we go through makes us stronger in the end. However, y'all, there are some things I just wish I would have done differently in my career, in my corporate life. And that is why I am super committed to teaching these things. If you are on my email list, you have probably received information already about this masterclass. I am teaching a 3-part system that I use that I believe that every leader needs to have, and that is leadership, systems, and relationships. Leadership, systems, and relationships. And I am going to break that down. And I am breaking that down in the context of our chaotic, of our messy, of our just crazy environment that we are in, where we are facing AI, we are facing economic scares and uncertainties, and we're facing recessions and layoffs, and shit is getting freaking real. So, how do we, as career minded people, future proof ourselves? Everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. I just want to say that everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. But I do believe that everybody should have multiple streams of income and should be stacking their skills in order to be the type of leader that they want to be. I believe leadership is required no matter what. Leadership is required for everything. If you are not showing up as a leader in all aspects of your life, whether you're a parent, whether you're a child, whether you're a student, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, if you are a friend, if you are whatever, an athlete, like leadership is required for all of it. So I want to see you at this masterclass. I want to be able to pour into you, right? I also want to let you guys know that I am going to give some goodies away. I am also introducing something new that I'm adding to my offerings outside of just coaching, one-on-one coaching, I'll say, or team coaching. And so I want you to be there. So whatever side you're on, whatever the side the QR code is on, LinkedIn is on this side, Instagram is on this side, YouTube, I have no idea. Click it, take a picture, and let me see you there next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Okay? As of right now, I'm not thinking of a replay, but we shall see. I just want to see you there. I want to catch the vibes. I want to feel the energy. And I want to get you prepared to start building the skills and the habits that you need today so that your 2026 is future proof, so that you are actually showing up unfreaking bothered. Okay. So I want to see you there. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into day 27. Today, I want to talk about something that most organizations confuse as success. They confuse this, and this is efficiency. We love to talk about how fast things move, how many projects are running, how productive everyone is. We will talk about that until the wheels freaking fall off in our organizations. But the reality is that you can be incredibly efficient at doing the wrong things. What you said? Let me say that again. What? You can be incredibly efficient at doing the wrong things. Efficiency is about moving things, it's about movement, it's about flow in the system. But today, I want to do some focus on impact, on the direction that we're going, on where we're headed, not just that we're moving, right? Y'all, I could walk all day. It don't mean I'm exercising. Just want to say. I remember when I first became a pescatarian in 2017 and I stopped eating meat. I do eat fish, I do eat eggs, and I love cheese. So that's my caveat to the whole thing, right? But what I found out really quickly, And this is from a dear friend who passed away. Her name was Toy Fam. So I want to shout out Toy Fam. I know her spirit is still with us. And she was a hardcore vegan. And she allowed me to realize you can be an unhealthy vegan. You could be an unhealthy vegetarian. You can be an unhealthy pescatarian, right? So I say that to say, yeah, I'm efficient at removing things from my diet, but it doesn't mean that I'm always the healthiest because the impact of the other things that I eat is not necessarily great. And so we have to not only be efficient, but we have to have impact. Okay. Because if you are on a team in a system or anything like that, that is moving in the wrong direction, you're just accelerating folks' burnout. You're just accelerating the exhaustion that people feel. You're just accelerating the things that people are doing that they're just like, oh my God, like enough is enough. Okay. You don't want people to get there. So, today, day 27. After this, we have 3 more days. We'll wrap that up and we'll culminate all of these lives and information into my masterclass. Okay, so I hope to see you next Wednesday. But today, what we're going to talk about is why efficiency is not the same thing as impact. These days, people want to know that you're going to make an impact in your career or even beyond. People want to know. I'm also going to talk about toxic productivity and how that hides in our system. This is a book by Isra Nasir, and it talks about toxic productivity. And so we're going to look at that. And then how to design systems that focus on what actually matters, not just what's measurable. Okay. So both have to go. So this is my Systems That Make Teams Work series. This is day 27. Okay. So let's start with this. Most systems are trapped in what I call a productivity illusion. We have a lot of illusion and delusion about how productive we are, right? We think that when our calendars are stacked and we have a lot of things back to back, or when we have constant movement, or we have dashboards that just say all green metrics and we're just hitting everything, that we are thriving. I was this person. I remember going from an administrative assistant to a director level and was like, oh, there's so much on my calendar now. I feel like I'm important. I'm going to meetings. I'm just like, oh, I'm just so important, right? Oh my God. Yeah, no, it wasn't helpful in the long run, right? I wasn't thriving. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was like, can I take a break? Literally, this is what we do as humans. We start to have all of these things because we think more is better instead of less is more. And we are running on empty. This is what Isra Nasir calls toxic productivity. It's the belief that your worth is tied to how much you produce. Your worth is tied to how much you produce. As you recall, I talked about this the other day. Okay. I talked about this the other day and I was like, yo, like, if we're measuring our worth based on how much we do, how effective are we really? How important are we really? And then what does that reinforce in our own lives about what it means to hustle and to sleep when I'm dead and to go all in and to just keep going and to like all of these things? What does that reinforce in the long run? What does it reinforce? When teams internalize this and this way of working, they start chasing activity instead of impact. So now I'm chasing, I have to do more. I have to do more. I have to be more. I have to keep going. I have to just keep at it because that means that I'm doing something right. That's what it means. Like that's what it looks like. This is how I feel because my mindset has told me that I have to do more in order to be important. My worth is tied to how much I can produce. Okay? This is what happens. Share this live if you are here right now. Please share the live so other people can hear this message, especially women. Okay. I want to end our burnout. I want to end us from just doing things because we're doing them, right? So share this live. Now, what happens is when we start to internalize these things, we start to fill up our calendars with more meetings, or we're trying to have the to-do list of the year. I knew people who I actually worked with who had to-do lists of the year, and they felt a level and sense of importance because they were doing a bunch of stuff. Yo, I used to be like, are you good? Like, do you need some more support? Like, or do you want to take a break? And it was like, no, 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 I got it. I'm going to keep going. Right. And they could never cut it off. Anything that looked like progress to them was wonderful. It was something to hang their hat on and just be like, I'm doing this and this is wonderful. They equated movement with momentum, right? But movement without meaning isn't momentum. Movement without impact or the why isn't momentum. It's just a lot of noise, a lot of like just stuff. Like, just think of like this fogginess of like just so much happening, right? With the onset of technology, there's so much more coming at us that we have to literally be able to pause and to kind of cut through the noise in order to figure out what's important, because not everything matters equally. If everything is important, y'all, nothing is important. I say this and I can't remember the podcast that I was listening to, but I remember one night, probably like 2 years ago, I was listening to a podcast and I was washing clothes. I'll never forget it. And I remember they said, when you do your priorities, there is no S on priorities. You should have one priority, because if everything is a priority, nothing is really a priority. Because how do you figure that out? Now, there's an order of things that you should do first, second, third, but everything cannot be a priority. So if you're equating everything as important, I hate to spill this to you, but nothing is really important to you. We have literally in our corporate spaces built environments and built systems that reward the illusion of importance. If you're always here, there, everywhere, if you're walking down the hall, you're always on the go and you're doing this and that, there's an illusion of importance. There's an illusion of I'm busy, instead of the discipline of being focused. And so we keep moving faster. We keep trying to optimize more. And we're calling it progress, even when we've lost sight of why we're doing it in the first place. Y'all, do you always know why you're doing something? And if you don't, have you asked why? And if you haven't asked why not? Does it have to do with something with hierarchy? Are you afraid? Is there a system that's not built on transparency? Can you not give feedback and push back? What is it? Put it in the chat. Let me know. If you are not pushing back or you're not asking why not? I'm curious. I really want to know. Okay. Now, efficiency is going to feel good. It's going to be, if it's going to feel good because you can see it. You can say, oh, I can actually see this moving through the system. I can see things happening. But impact is so much harder, and it takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of courage because it's super intentional, and it's a direction that you're going in, but you never know how long, how quickly, or even if you're going to get there. But you're always shooting for the impact. What can I impact? Right? That should be in all our work. Whatever role you're in, even if this is not your business, it's your career. It's the work that you do. It's what you signed up for. So are you moving yourself towards more impact? So let's make this distinction clear because I could already hear you asking me, what's the definition? What are you using? How do you, Tashina, what are you talking about? Okay. Well, this is how I want to put it. Efficiency is doing things right. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And we are going to do things the right way. Effectiveness is doing the right things. So I'm going to do the right things the right way. Efficiency, effectiveness to efficiency, right? But impact is why any of that matters in the first place. That's what impact is. Efficiency will answer the question, how fast can we do it? How efficient can we be? How quickly can we get it done? Right? Effectiveness asks, is this the right thing to do? Is it the right thing to do? Is it the thing that we should be working on? What do you think? Yeah, because such and such said we need to work on it because such and such said that it's important because it's urgent. Those are usually the answers we get. And we can cut through all that noise when we start moving to impact, when we start asking ourselves, who does this serve and how does it change something for them? Who does this serve and how does it change something for them? There's a book called The One Thing. I think it's called The One Thing. And the author is Gary Keller. And he writes that success is sequential, not simultaneous. Success is sequential, not simultaneous. Meaning you don't achieve impact by doing more. You achieve it by doing what matters most first. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. You don't achieve impact by doing more. You achieve it by doing what matters most first. It's like an assembly line of we have to do this first before we can move to this. I have to buy the Peloton before I lose the weight. But I got to hop on the Peloton and actually use the Peloton in order to lose the weight. Like it's sequential. It's like the order of operations, the order of what we should be doing. If we're trying to do everything all at one time, it is really hard to tie that together in a bow and present it as something with impact. This is why I love agile teams, because in agile teams, I forget what the name of it is, but when they set aside time where they will literally work on one thing collectively for a couple of weeks and nothing else, and they just work on that one thing, it makes so much more difference because you're not focused on all these other simultaneous tasks that need to be done. You are literally looking at this one project to create this one impact, and that's it. That's it. And this is what our entire systems need to do. We need to start focusing our energy where it actually creates transformation, where it actually moves things, where it actually makes things go, not just movement, not just motion. So ask yourself, is your system designed to check boxes? Are you just checking boxes? Or are you literally there to change something? Because impact is not built from busyness, it's built from clarity, and it's built from the courage to take a step and say, the impact matters more to me than doing a bunch of things that may or may not matter. Okay. Share this live again. If you are here, please share so other people can hear this message and be here with me. All right. So here's why most systems stay stuck in efficiency. It's one clear answer, 3 words. It feels safer. Full stop. People, the systems, the teams stay stuck in efficiency because it feels safer. It's what I can see. It gives the illusion that I have everything under control because I can track it, I can measure it, I can present it on a slide deck. But impact, on the other hand, is slower, it's messier, it's subjective. Not everybody will have the same answer. right? I think about this literally with coaching. Like, I can present the very same things to the same people, to different people, the very same things, and everybody is going to have a different impact that it had for them. Most recently, I've had people who've had the impact of they left their job, they quit. Y'all, let me tell y'all. Actually, this has happened to me twice now, where my client has been like, I'm out. This doesn't serve me. So the impact in those situations were a level of freedom, of release, of like not being bound to systems that don't appreciate them. I've also had impacts where team leaders are like, I can work better with my team. I have a system now. I'm able to actually bring my people together. I've had other impacts where people are like, man, like I'm able to have this conversation and it feels good. Or I'm able to manage up because this shit stinks and I'm able to speak my mind and say what needs to happen. These are the different impacts that happen. And it's so hard to always put your hand on it and to really measure it and to really say how long it will take or how you will track it step by step. Sometimes it's just really difficult to do because we're human and things change. We are not robots, we are not actual machines. So things are going to be different. There is no code that is presented to us that we use, and that's like, the code of Tashina, and I'm going to push these buttons, and this is who she's going to be, and this is how she is. We don't work like that. So when we talk about impact, it's going to require you to trust the process. It's going to require you to reflect a little bit. And sometimes, y'all, you just got to let it go. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we got to throw the bathwater out. Sometimes we just have to let it go. And that's exactly what most leaders and teams resist, the letting go. Because we've been so conditioned to believe that if we slow down, somehow we're going to fall behind. But the truth is that speed without any level of strategy is just stress with better branding. Y'all, stop trying to move to something and go faster without any strategy behind it, without any like really concrete thought and reflection to things. And you're just trying to move. You're just trying to make progress on something that you're not even thinking about. And so you're simultaneously trying to do all these different things when you gotta start, you gotta crawl before you walk, before you run. You have to do that. And so it's not, this is why the marathon analogy works so well, because it's not a race. It's a marathon. Y'all, let me tell you something. If God gives you something that you're supposed to do, he's not asking you to race to do it. He's asking you to be obedient, to trust it in the process. And so that's what you have to do. And I have to tell myself that all the time. It's not a race, but he's going to get me to where he needs to get me. And that's what I mean. I'm not trying to bring spirituality in it, but I have to make the point that sometimes we're moving faster than the strategic direction needs to go, because we've been conditioned. Now we got to move fast, we got to prove ourselves, we got to prove our roles, we got to do things, we got to show some level of like success or efficiency or processes, or we have to return an ROI. And so we move fast. Toxic productivity, the book Toxic Productivity, talks about this so clearly. It says that productivity can become harmful when it disconnects from purpose and it burns out the people that it depends on. It's not that productivity is bad. We want to get things done. You should, absolutely. You should be productive at whatever you do. The problem is our relationship with productivity. That's broken. Instead of always asking, how do we do more? Or what more can we do? Or how can we get in front of this? What can we do? We need to ask, what deserves our energy right now? What deserves our best energy in this moment of so many different complex, changing, shifting dynamics in our environment, what deserves our best energy? Because I can guarantee you, not everything deserves your energy. You ain't got to show up to every fight, y'all. It doesn't, and I don't mean fight like that. Brene Brown talks about the rumble, and she uses the rumble as having those crucial conversations. And y'all, even if I use rumble as like showing up and doing work that we probably shouldn't be doing, we don't have to always go to rumble. We don't have to do things if we don't understand the why or the purpose. A system that optimizes for speed all the time without alignment, without getting aligned, without any purpose is not efficient. It's exhausted. We are exhausted from keep going on and on and on and on and not getting anywhere. So, what does designing for impact actually mean? It means that we build systems that make it impossible to forget why the work matters. And I want to tell you something that I had to learn the hard way. Money can never be a reason why you do something. It's never sustainable. It's never like long term, because once you get a little bit of money, you're going to want more money, and then you're going to want more money, and then you go, because your responsibilities get different. The level of expenses that you have to pay for get different. So money cannot be the why for why you do things. It keeps us safe. It definitely keeps us with the resources that we need to stay alive. It definitely gives us access to things that we need for our lives. And we all want to be wealthy. I do. I definitely want money, but it can't be the why behind why I coach. And I want to let you know today that is not my why. I have such a bigger purpose than, I literally tell people that coaching is my soul's work, because deep down, I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, because there's a lot of women who has been somewhere that I was, that need me, that need my message, that need my voice. And quite frankly, God didn't drop it in my spirit to leave me hanging. Okay. He didn't. I'm just saying. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to run this race. And that's so contradictory, because I said it's not a race, but I'm going to be on the path that God sets for me. Okay. So here is how you design a system for impact. Okay. The first thing is start with the purpose. Start with the purpose. Start with the why. Do not start with process. Okay. So in the one thing in the book, they say, the author says, what's the one thing we can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing we can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? This question will force you to get focused and to get clear. It forces you that to do that, because now you have to look at everything that you're doing. This is a critical question if you are experiencing some level of burnout or exhaustion or getting there. We are entering one of the most volatile VUCA worlds, right? Volatile, uncertain, and I don't know what the CNA stand for anymore, but it's complex and something else, chaotic. I don't know, right? But things are shaky. Our foundation is messed up right now. So what do we need to focus on? That if we focus on that one thing, everything else becomes easier, or other things just don't even matter, right? This is how we can get everybody aligned on what truly drives impact, and not just what we're going to fill the calendar with. We don't have time for that. We do not have time for that going into 2026. And I want y'all to have a somewhat relaxing holiday season without having to worry, about your calendar or still working. Okay. The second thing is redefine what success looks like. Move from like volume metrics, like how much you did, how much you earned, what's the increase. Like, let's move away from that and move into value metrics. How much value, how much impact did that actually have for them? Okay, don't just count what you do, measure what changes because of what you do. Measure what changes. So this could look like, I'm measuring how quicker somebody, I'm not quicker, but I'm measuring that somebody, from saying how quick someone can get to the hospital to that we actually provided transportation for somebody to get to the hospital. Okay. So the first one, how quick they could get to the hospital, is a metric, a volume metric, saying that we're providing access so that they can get to the hospital is about the value. Okay. That's an example. The third thing is we need to do a lot more reflecting. We need to take more time to pause. Okay. We need to be asking ourselves a little bit more about what's still working and what's just keeping us busy. Let's look at the data. We have our own database in this. We know when we're tired. We know when our calendars are full. We need to do some more reflecting, not just going unconsciously to do the things that we're doing. Okay. So reflection, the other thing I want you to know, when I used to do retrospectives all the time, people used to roll their eyes like, oh God, we got to do another retro. Like, this takes so much time, right? But this is not about slowing you down. It's actually like how to kind of recharge your system, your team, and also learn some very important things that you don't have to run into again. If we don't talk collectively as a team on what else that we can be doing or not doing, then we're going to run into the same things. There's a saying that says you were going to keep getting tested until you learn the lesson. Teachers will continue, some teachers will continue to give the test over and over and over again until you get it. And if they're not giving you the test over and over again and you're failing, you're going to have to keep taking the class over and over and over again until you get it. So if we don't slow down to reflect, we're not going to get it. And we're going to have to keep coming up against that same lesson that's trying to be taught to us. Okay. Plus, we want to move. We want to be productive, right? We don't want to have to keep going back and doing the same thing again. Okay. And the last thing, make it easy and design for it. Design for ease. Ease isn't laziness. Okay. Ease is not laziness. It is when we are literally getting in alignment with actually what matters. Because when people are clear, they move faster, they have less tension, there's less bottlenecks, right? If they're clear. And if you want to make an impact on your team or in your system, you don't want people fighting the process. You want them to be flowing. You want them to have so much purpose that it just, like, literally, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get tired of coaching. I get tired when I have to make slide decks or handouts or like all the like administrative things that come with coaching. But when I am coaching and I'm with someone and we're just vibing, oh my God, I could do that all day. I would never get tired because it feels so aligned. But that's when I'm taking all this other stuff out and just focusing on the purpose to really allow somebody to really come into who they want to be as an individual. Okay. So just talking about that, like really focusing on the human is going to be important for you, because we do no change, no systems change, no transformational change without focusing on the human. Okay. This is not just about your organization. You want to make this work for the people that work with you. When people can see the effect of their work, they can actually find the meaning, which is why reflecting and going back and thinking about what's working is important. If they cannot find meaning and they don't know why they're doing it, that is when they're going to get burned out. Okay. So we don't just want systems that run smoothly. We want systems where people also feel like what they contribute to the system actually matters. And that's what's going to create the sustainable motivation, the trust, not the perks, not the free lunch, not the free t-shirts, not the free pins, not the extra lunch. They want sustainable motivation, not just bonuses. They want purpose. That's what people really want. So part of designing for impact is making sure that people can trace a line between what they do and who it helps. You have to bring the customer, the client, the person into your work all the time. A lot of the teamwork that I have done and I continue to do to this day is I want to put the customer right at the center. I was trying to look to see my girl Raz that I used to work with. She gave like the whole team like these little chairs, right? It's like little dollhouse chairs. And it was a reminder to put the customer in the middle of everything you do. Your customer is sitting in that seat, they're watching you, and they want to make sure, they want to know that you're working for them, right? But sometimes we aren't the closest to the customer. When we talk about headquarter teams and field teams, sometimes we're not close to the customer. So it's the responsibility of you as the leader, the team lead, the big L leader, which is the leader with the title, or whomever, you have to make sure that you're connecting the dots. Hey, let me tell you about this customer. Let me tell you about the impact they had. When I worked at Genentech, what was so amazing is when we would have patients come back and talk to us. So we could see, everybody can see what happened because of the work we all collectively did. And that's important. We have to bring the human back into it. Okay. So this week, this is what I want you to reflect on. More questions. Y'all gonna be reflecting on questions every single day that I come on here because I want you to reflect on them. But not all topics are made equal, but I'm gonna let you know. Okay. So here's some questions that you can reflect on. Where in your system are you optimizing for speed instead of significance, instead of purpose? Where are you looking at how fast can we go versus how can we possibly, we might have to move slower, but it's going to make a significant impact. Ask yourself that, or go research. Also, what's the one thing your team could focus on that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing they can focus on? And what metrics could you actually drop? Because they are measuring how fast you go and not the impact, not the meaning behind it. Okay. I want you to ask yourself those questions, reflect on those. Reflection is good. Reflection is good. It does not slow you down. So go check that out. Think about that on your team. Ask your leader, ask your team what they think. This is a way to bring in the collaborative opportunities, and to really work with your team on this, right? Because all of y'all will probably be tired, are probably tired by now. It's about to be November. Okay. Y'all probably tired. So let's figure it out. Let's reflect on this. Okay. Impact isn't the reward for hard work, it is the result of focus, purposeful team. So if you are making impact, it is the result of you being focused and on purpose. Okay. Efficiency makes teams faster. It makes impact. Impact is what matters in these systems. You do not need to be busier. You just need to be more clear on where you need to focus. Okay. So design for impact this week, not just efficiency, and stop performing productivity. We don't need a bunch of calendar invites. If you have things on your calendar, here's a tip. A good way to really get people to understand the why is in your calendar invites, put the why of why you're meeting and who, meaning the customer, who is it in service of? Okay. All your meetings, you should be taking action. You should not just be regurgitating for your information speeches. Okay. That's a bonus right there. Okay. So in your calendar invites, put the why. Why are you meeting? This is how you start to create change and to have a culture shift or a systems change in your organization. Okay. This is also what real leadership looks like. Okay. Real leadership is not about how fast you go, but it's actually what moved, what was impactful, because you took the time you took the time to actually think about how can we be purposeful in our goals. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Tomorrow, what are we talking about tomorrow? Let's see, let me just open this up. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to be future facing, how to really think about the future in your systems and how to be a leader in that. Because that is one way, like we can't always be in the present, and just right here. We also have to be looking 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. We have to be looking down the road and think about what that looks like. This also goes really well. This topic for tomorrow goes really well with my masterclass that I am having. So again, LinkedIn, if you're here, the QR code is here. If you're Instagram, the QR code is here. So please register for the masterclass. It's happening next week on November 5th on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. This gives all of my working corporate girlies and guys time to get home or to sit down and relax, take notes and all of that and be ready for that. So go ahead. But we are trying to future-proof your career and get you to a place where it feels easier, it feels good. All right. So glad you were here with me. I will talk to you tomorrow. Oh yeah, and don't forget the Dodgers game is on, and the score is 2 Toronto, 1 Dodgers. Okay, I don't know who y'all going for, but the game is on. I heard last night it was 6 hours. Yeah, I'm not gonna be watching it for 6 hours. Okay, but anyway, all right. Talk to you soon. Bye.